I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you're wondering what the title of today's show is, it is something that is going to urge you to do a lot of work almost immediately, because the title of today's show is A Major Redo. And that is in order to perhaps cut financial losses or realign your financial resources in some way to benefit you in the future. And you can get a lot of help with that. But the reason why you're going to have to go through a major redo right about now, and I wouldn't wait on that, is because there are 5 planets that are all retrograde right now. And that's half of all the planets in the heavens, and they're all going backward. And so you do have to go back and redo or review some sort of circumstances in your life that could use some review. Maybe you've been letting a few things drift, and well, you better take a look at those, because the 5 retrograde planets cover 1/2 of your chart. So that's a pretty big area of your life that needs to be reviewed in one way or another. And the 5 retrograde planets are Pluto, which is at the 29th degree in Capricorn, and then Saturn and Neptune are both retrograde in Pisces, Uranus is retrograde in Taurus, and now Jupiter is retrograde in Gemini. So that covers 1/2 of your chart where you do have to review circumstances in your life, because they may need to be undergoing some sort of major change right now. And then there are another 5 planets in a harsh T-cross among the cardinal signs. And so they're all challenging each other, and that can indicate that there really is a need to perform a major redo in your life right now. And that is because today Mars is in Cancer, and it is opposing the Moon and Pluto in Capricorn today. Well, the Moon rules Cancer, but it's opposing the sign it rules. That's not too good. And these 3 planets are all squaring the Sun and Mercury in Libra, another cardinal sign where we just had a fabulous solar eclipse. And because Mercury and the Sun in Libra are closely and tightly conjuncting each other, a major redo may have something to do with matters that are concerned with your home or your career, or with a job, or with the idea of considering retirement, or with a vexing situation that can involve challenges to a partnership or to a legal agreement. And that's why we need to review things right now. And we need to certainly reorganize maybe our priorities in order to have a major redo take effect. And that the outcome of that would be that it would help you cut your losses at this time. Or if you're anticipating losses, this could be a time when you could get a jump on that, and that would be certainly to your benefit. So this is a time when a major redo takes place, and it can be done in ways that can be very beneficial to you. There are good ways to go through this major redo, and I'll describe them now. And it's because, although there are no planets in the fire signs at all, there is a beautiful grand trine among the water signs. And so they rule our feelings and our emotions, and things that are going on behind the scenes, and our home life, and also some financial matters, because Venus is in Scorpio today, and it is trining that Mars in Cancer, and together those 2 planets are trining Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So there's that grand trine in the water signs. And that means that if you needed to get some financial help in one way or another to affect a major redo in your life, and something that could help you realign your financial resources, that's a good thing to be doing right now. You could get help. And perhaps the help could come from a friend behind the scenes, or maybe some friends behind the scenes, because Saturn and Neptune are in Pisces, trining that Venus in Scorpio and Mars in Cancer. Or you could simply get help perhaps from a family member who sort of comes to the rescue and sort of helps your budget out in one way or another, because that's Mars in Cancer, trining Venus in Scorpio. So those are two ways that you could go through a major redo to help cut your losses, and they would tend to work because that grand trine is pretty strong in the water signs. There's also another trine in the earth signs of 3 planets, and that is because the moon today is in Capricorn, and it is joining Pluto in Capricorn at the 29th degree of fate. Remember, Capricorn rules your career, it rules your public reputation, and it rules your long-term pension or retirement plans. And those 2 planets are trining Uranus, which is retrograde in Taurus right now. And Taurus is a fixed financial sign, and it rules your investments. It also rules anything that's pretty high priced, like very good art, or it can rule high-priced real estate or even commercial real estate. And there is the possibility that you could perhaps sell something right now and do it now in order to effect a major redo that can help you cut your losses. See, the whole idea is to realign your financial resources in a way, or in a major redo way, that can help you cut losses. And that is a prudent thing for you to do now, just in case, as we're going into the winter, just in case you would endure more losses. So this is a very good time to cut your losses. And you could do that by selling property or selling an investment of yours, and that would give you a little bit more money to get you through things. And also you could do that, if you needed to, by borrowing money out of a retirement or a pension plan, because that's what Capricorn rules. But I'd be real careful about doing that, because if you don't pay it back, you'll regret that later in life. So selling something would probably be a good idea, and that would help you get through a major redo, and it would realign your financial resources. So that's good. And then there's another trine, and that is between 3 planets in the air signs, because there are no planets in the fire signs. But remember that Mercury is conjuncting the Sun today in Libra, the sign of partnership, and they are both trining that Jupiter in Gemini, which is retrograde now, but still it means that you may be able to perhaps end one partnership or end a vexing situation in your life that is just sort of cramping your style and it's not anything that you want to continue. So you might be able to do some sort of major redo by letting go of an outworn partnership and perhaps developing a new partnership, even if it's only on a part-time or temporary basis. That would really sort of get you going toward the future, because all 3 of these planets, the Sun and Mercury in Libra and Jupiter in Gemini, are trining the sign of Aquarius, which does rule the future. So I'm talking about the necessity of a major redo somewhere in your life, and it could mean a change in partnership, it could mean the sale of something, it certainly could mean that other people can maybe help you out of a sticky situation right now, either from friends behind the scenes or a family member who could come to the rescue. That would be great too. But those are all ways that you could realign your financial resources right now in a way that promotes a major redo. And that major redo, the purpose of that, whether you're changing partners or you're just looking for more money or you're selling something, that major redo is very necessary right now to cut your losses. And if you're looking around and you're saying to yourself, oh, I don't have any losses in my life, well then look a little closer, because you don't control everything in your life. You know, we don't control the economy, do we? We don't control wars. And so this is a time when you really need to sort of realign your financial resources and cut your losses. Even if they are anticipated losses, I would do that right now in order to make your own financial situation a lot safer. And if you look around and you're anticipating losses, wouldn't it be a better idea to cut them now rather than endure them? And so, you know, that's not a good idea. Cutting your losses after you've already lost, that's no good. it's much better to do a major redo right now if you can, and there are some good ways that you could do that, so I hope you try that out. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Aries. Well, Aries, for you, I think that you almost have to go through some sort of major redo right now, and the reason why is that there are no planets in the fire signs, so I think you're going to be dependent upon different situations or different financial resources that you'll have to sort of realign in one way or another, or you will have to review circumstances in your life and simply ask yourself, how is this going to be in the future? And be honest with yourself, because your sign is being opposed by the Sun and Mercury in Libra today, and it's being sorely squared by Mars in Cancer and also by the Moon today and Pluto in Capricorn. So there is probably going to be a change in your career path. Capricorn rules careers. And it can be that you're looking at a vexing situation in one way or the other as you're contemplating how much time to spend on home or how much time to spend on a career of one kind or another, or whether you should continue working or whether you should consider retirement right now. Those are all valid concerns that you should have right now, Aries, because if you have some sort of a problem or some sort of a loss that you were anticipating in your life, or a partnership that isn't working out anymore or has already ended, then I don't think that you're going to be afraid to go on by yourself. Aries is the sign of the pioneer, and you're excellent at just striking out on your own. Just remember that, Aries, because it could be very difficult for you to turn in directions that are already presenting problems. The major redo means that you're trying to circumvent the problems in one way or another. And so if you are looking at changing partnerships, that's a good idea, but I'm not so sure you could end a partnership, but I'm not so sure that you're in a position to start a new partnership right now, because the Sun and Mercury in Libra are opposing your Sun. You could think about that though, or you could approach different people, but I don't think it would actually sort of gel at the moment. So you're a little bit more on your own right now, Aries, and if you think, oh, I'll just coast along, let things go, that would not be a good idea. There are 5 planets in the cardinal signs, and they are all squaring and opposing your sun sign, including your ruler. And so there is some sort of a change in your home life, or in your career, or in your public reputation, or in your investments, or certainly in a partnership. There's going to be changes, and you would be wise to just open your eyes to that and accept that, and then go on your own, in your own way, because you excel at new beginnings. But it may not be with the same old people right now, and it may not even be with people that you're reaching out to right now, because everybody's in the same boat, Aries, and we all have to have some sort of major redo in our lives right now in order to cut our losses. And that's so the losses don't get worse. It is not looking like the losses are going to diminish unless we do a major redo. So I urge you to give that a try. It's to your benefit. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time, Taurus, when you too can be facing some sort of major redo in how much time you spend on your home, or how much time you spend in a career, or whether you should keep working, or whether you want to retire. That would be a really good idea for you to be, all these things for you to be considering right now. And if you are thinking, oh no, I'm not going to change anything in my life at all, you could still be facing losses, because this is a time when we have to realign our financial resources. And that's for 2 good reasons that pertain to you, Taurus. One reason is that Venus is in Scorpio. That's the other fixed financial sign, and it is opposing Uranus in your sign. These 2 planets are pretty close. Venus is at 20 degrees, Uranus is at 27, and Uranus is retrograde. You will have to redo your investments, because some of them can be accruing losses right now. And since Venus is in Scorpio, opposing your sun sign, and Venus is your own ruler, Taurus, and an opposition indicates separations. And particularly when your own ruler is doing that. And so you are going to have to just shore up your own defenses by realigning your financial resources and probably by selling something, Taurus. And you would be wise to do that because even if you're saying, oh, I'm not losing money anywhere, you better take another look. The world is unstable right now, and so are economic conditions. And if you are anticipating losses, why not get a head start and sell something before they go down or before the price goes down further? And it could be the reason why major redos are important right now to do is because while your investments can be lowering in value, your costs and your taxes are still going up, and you've got to bring that into closer realignment, or you're going to end up paying a whole lot more than you think. And what are you going to use for money if the value of your investments are falling? That's why I would suggest you sell something right now, Taurus. And then the moon and Pluto in Capricorn are trining your sun. And so that means that if you go through some sort of major redo and finally decide whether you want to be at home more, or whether you want to work on a career more, or whether you want to improve your public reputation, or whether you just want to retire because that would be a little easier on you right now. Those are the things that with Pluto and the moon trining your sun and Uranus in your sign, you could think about that a lot more closely right now, Taurus, and probably make a good decision. That's a trine, and trines can be beneficial. And also it could depend on your health, because all 3 planets in the earth signs are trining Virgo right now, and that's trining your sun. There's nothing in Virgo, but you should be making some sort of a major redo in your life, not only to cut your financial losses, but perhaps to prolong your life, or prolong your health, or improve that. And you could do that, Taurus, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, Jupiter has finally gone retrograde in your sign. That means it's going backwards. It is going to be in your sign for a whole year, Gemini. But when planets go retrograde, and there are 5 of them right now, covering 1/2 of all of our charts, it simply means that you might have to go back and look at whatever you're thinking of doing in a part-time or temporary way and consider who you're doing it with. And the reason why is because there are 3 planets in the air signs all trining each other. And so if you were going to realign your financial resources in some sort of major redo in order to cut losses, you may be able to do that perhaps by taking on a new partner or doing something in a temporary or part-time way, which is what your sign rules. Because the Sun and Mercury, your own ruler, are tightly conjuncting in Libra, the sign of partnership, and the law, so you could do something legal and it could benefit you. And they are trining Jupiter in your sign, which is retrograde. There is some area of your life or the way you spend your time or your occupation or the people you associate with, there is something there that needs to be redone in one way or another, Gemini. We're all facing that with 5 retrograde planets, and one of them is in your sign, Jupiter. So if I were you, I would concentrate a little bit more on what you can do if you form a new partnership and how that would affect your future. And it could be very beneficial to you. And the reason why is because the Sun and Mercury in Libra and Jupiter in Gemini, all 3 of them are trining the sign of Aquarius, which rules the future. And in just right in the middle of November, Pluto is going into Aquarius and staying for a long time, and that will be trining Jupiter in your sign as well, clear till next summer. And then Pluto in Aquarius is going to be trining your sun sign for years. But it's going to be real nice that it's trining Jupiter in your sign as well. So if I were you, I would try to pick up a new partner right now and try to branch out in some way. A major redo might be that you've outgrown something that you're used to and that you're ready to start something new, but you may want to do it just in a smaller way or in a slower way, part-time, and perhaps you would need the advice or the help of a partner in order to do that. That could work out very successfully for you, Gemini, so you might sort of think about that. You don't have to go forward quickly. I just think that we all need to go through some sort of major redo right now. If for nothing else, then there's 5 retrograde planets, so we need to go back and review circumstances, take another look at them. But we also need to realign our financial resources in order to cut losses. And if there's no loss in your life at the moment, Gemini, you would still be wise to anticipate that there could be losses and try to sort of head that off right now. Perhaps with the help of a partner or from some sort of legal counseling. That would help you as well. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, Mars is still in your sign. Ooh, okay. And that means that that Mars in your sign is being opposed by your own ruler today, the Moon. And Pluto in Capricorn, and the Sun and Mercury in Libra are squaring Mars in your sign right now, Cancer. And so you can be facing the need for some sort of major redo in your life, and you could review your circumstances. You could certainly review your partnerships. It means that there can be an end of a partnership, and if it hasn't happened already, and maybe it has, if it has happened already, you could probably pick up a new partner, and that could be something that would originate from help from behind the scenes. In other words, the bad news is that you've got planets squaring and opposing your sun sign, and you've got Mars in your sun sign. And so you have to go through a major redo, Cancer. And that is going to be in your relationship with your family members. Perhaps if you're having trouble there, I'd drop it. Why put yourself through grief when you don't have to? Just walk away. Or it can be that you are anticipating the need for a move. You might be thinking that it would be hard. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. It's just that you should be, if you're anticipating a move, Cancer, it should be in relationship to a career. Capricorn rules careers, and your ruler, the Moon, is in Capricorn along with Pluto. And you may want to strengthen your career in one way, and it may take a move to do that. You might want to move closer to your job. Well, that's a good idea. It would save you a lot of money in commuting. And also, you may be able then to concentrate more on a job and not so much on other people's problems that are being caused by family members. That would be a good way to get out of that, because there is a grand trine in the water signs, and that favorably affects that Mars in your sign, because Venus is in Scorpio, trining that Mars. And these two planets, Venus in Scorpio and Mars in your sign, are being trined beautifully by Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. There's 4 planets in water signs in a grand trine. So I don't think you're going to be hurt by too much right now, Cancer, but you still need to take a look around at vexing situations that are bothering you. Cancers have sort of tender hearts. They get stirred up pretty easily emotionally simply by dissension or people around them that they no longer agree with, or who are just sort of bothering them. Cancers feel that. And yet, Cancer, you could just about get out of anything right now, and constructively. And that is because of this grand trine in the water signs. So you could get help from people behind the scenes, or you could make a dream come true, a quiet dream of yours come true behind the scenes, with Mars in your sign and Venus in Scorpio both trining the planets in Pisces, which rules things behind the scenes. And also there could be more money coming your way, Cancer. You might want to sell something, but you might want to also use some money in one way or another, perhaps to move or to redo your home in one way or another. And that would be with the idea of making it more comfortable for you. And so if there is some sort of a legal partnership or legal matter that has been bothering you because the Sun and Mercury in Libra are squaring your Sun, Cancer, then what I would do is I would try to settle matters, and I would say that that is probably where you need to do a major redo. In other words, if a partnership looks like it's ending or has already ended, that could bring you a sigh of relief, Cancer. That would get a problem off your back. Or if a legal contract has proved to represent a vexing situation, you could try to resolve that, or just hire somebody else to do that and sort of get away from that too. Because the grand trine of 4 planets in the water signs is going to be very beneficial for you. It could help sort of bring you home to what really makes your heart happy. And in order to have that happen, you'd have to go through a major redo. But it's like a rainbow where the sun is shining and representing happiness. But it would be happiness in your heart and happiness in your home. Perhaps because you would do a little house cleaning, or you'd be changing partnerships, or you would be moving closer to work so there were not, it would be a little easier to do your job, something like that. So anyway, Cancer, I would follow the good effects of that trine in the water signs, because it's a grand trine. Every water sign has good planets in it for you. So follow your feelings, and certainly go through a major redo now that can help you cut your losses in your financial resources, because everybody's going to need to do that. And if you have to sell something, fine. But I think if you were going to redo something, say you were going to remodel your house rather than sell it, you may be able to do that in a part-time way that still allows you to do your job. But Jupiter is in Gemini right behind your sun sign, and Jupiter is great, and it's retrograde. So you could be perhaps wanting to move back to an old neighborhood and just do things in a part-time way, but be closer to work at the same time. Do you see how that could cut a lot of losses for you, Cancer? It really could. It could just make you a little happier at home and at work. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, remember I said once again, there are no planets in the fire signs. And so people have to be careful now to go through a major redo by either changing things or dropping things or adapting to things, maybe on a part-time or temporary basis, but all with the idea of cutting losses. That could be extremely important for you, Leo. And so with no planets in the fire signs, I don't see you being a ball of fire right now, but I do see that you could be thinking pretty carefully about particularly home matters. Mars is in Cancer right behind your sun sign, so there is something in a family matter or a home matter that can be vexing or distressing to you, and either you're pretty unhappy with something or somebody else is, and that would relate to real estate in your home or to a family situation that could be rather vexing. And so Leo, you just have to be able to face the fact that, Leos are full of enthusiasm and optimism all the time, but this is a better time to be practical, particularly about financial matters, particularly for you, Leo, because Venus in Scorpio, a fixed financial sign, is squaring your sun sign, and Uranus in Taurus, the other fixed financial sign, is also squaring your sun sign, and Pluto very shortly is going to move into Aquarius and oppose your sun sign for years. So this, rather than you just sailing along thinking that everything is going to be sunny and bright, this is the time when you should be anticipating financial losses, which you may already know about, Leo, or higher costs or higher taxes on something, and you should try to realign your financial resources in a way that cuts your costs. This major redo is all about cutting costs. And you're going to have to do it, Leo, because there are some major planets that are going to continue to square and oppose your sign for years. And that is why you would be facing challenges. And so it's better to anticipate the challenges and try to effect some sort of major redo in your life that simplifies your life a little bit more. Because if it simplifies your life, then you won't have such high costs or high taxes. And that's what you should try to get away from, is they're going to be coming your way if you don't handle them right now, Leo. And try to cut your losses, even your anticipated losses. It's really a good time for you to be pulling in your belt, Leo. And you don't have to be a ball of fire right now. You have to figure out how to make it in the long run, in the face of uncertain economic times that everyone is going to be facing. And that's why it's good to go through a major redo right now. And without any planets in the fire signs, you're going to have to sit down and think of how to do that. And I would say it would be a wise use of your time. So I hope you do that. Yours is a fixed sign, But because yours is a fixed sign, sometimes fixed signs think they can just barrel through anything. But actually, 5 retrograde planets, it means all of us have to go back and go through some sort of major redo. We have to review the circumstances in our lives. It includes your health condition, it includes your mental attitude, it includes your financial resources, it includes your obligations such as taxes or the high cost of living. And if you can scale those down a little bit right now, Leo, or if you can just try to affect a simpler lifestyle that is less costly, that would be a wise idea for you right now. In fact, it may prevent you from facing larger losses in the future. So, good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, you have 3 planets in the earth signs trining your sun right now, Virgo, which is good because there still are 5 retrograde planets in 1/2 of all of our charts, which means all of us have to go back and review circumstances in our lives, and we also have to really take a look at how we can reorganize our lives in some sort of major redo to make them, to enable us to cut costs and to make our lives a little bit simpler. That would be appealing to a Virgo. Virgo rules efficiency and good time management and accounting. And so, Virgo, there are 3 planets in the earth signs trining your sun. There isn't anything in your sun sign anymore, but you do have the sort of the backup aid of the moon today and Pluto in Capricorn at the 29th degree trining your sun, and also Uranus in Taurus, which is retrograde as well, trining your sun. And that means it would be wise of you, particularly since there's 2 major planets, Uranus and Pluto, trining your sun, that it would be wise of you to go back and review where you've got your money or your property or how you're planning your retirement, and do you have enough financial resources to cover all your bases right now and anticipate higher costs, because the whole idea behind a major redo is to cut costs, and everybody should be doing that. And Virgo, you could have different reasons for wanting to do that right now. One of them is the state of your health, either your mental health or your physical health, because your sign rules that. And so you may be in a situation where you want to review how much work you want to do, or how much you want to be home, or whether you want to end or change your career, or whether you want to retire. And certainly you would want to be looking at the possibility of a legal contract or partnerships in one way or another, because the Sun and Mercury, your own ruler, are conjuncting each other today in Libra. And they're trining Jupiter in Gemini and Aquarius as well. So you may want to sort of cut down on a few things right now, Virgo, or go a little slower. Or you may just decide, that if you cut down on something, and this could be a lifestyle choice of yours, maybe you wanted to change some of your health habits. If you did cut down on them, it could be more cost effective. It could help you cut costs. Maybe you're doing something that's pretty expensive, and you've been doing it for a long time. Maybe you could cut down on that. And that would sort of help simplify your life in a way that it would be more affordable in the future. And this is a very good time for you to go through some sort of major redo like that. Not only because it would probably improve your health, but it would improve your bottom line as well. And Capricorn rules retirement. And you don't want to be poor in retirement, Virgo. So this is a time when, if you go through a major redo or start cutting costs right now, you would be wise to do that. It would be very cost effective. It would probably simplify your life. It might improve your health in a way that could be very good in the long run, make you even live longer. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, after that solar eclipse in your sign, I'll bet you think that the world is your oyster. Well, it is if you're looking at new partnerships, Libra. And today the Sun is in your sign, and it is closely conjuncting Mercury in your sign. So you may really have partnership on your mind right now. And it can be the kind of partnership that could be part-time or temporary. So you may be thinking of maybe scaling back and doing a major redo by not working full-time, but going at something, even if it's a project of yours, where you just do one step at a time. And you know, part-time means, okay, you do part of it, and then you finish that, then you do the next part and finish that. Okay, it might take a little longer, but it could be a little easier on you too, Libra. And I mean, what's the rush? Because you're going into the future no matter what. And I think it's with new partners. And you could certainly be thinking of an ideal partner right now that you like, or you could be deciding that you wanted to go ahead with some sort of legal work or legal contract that would benefit you in one way or another. That's true, it probably would. And that is because Jupiter in Gemini is trining that Sun and Mercury in your sign, and Pluto is about to go into Aquarius and also trine your Sun. If you had a goal or a partnership in mind, Libra, for your future, you might be wise in a major redo to decide to work on something at a slower pace and for a longer time. You'd still be accomplishing the goal, but there would be a lot less strain on you, wouldn't there? And if you took on a partner, that would be even less strain on you, and you'd be getting help. And so you see, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to achieve success. But with Pluto in Aquarius about to trine your Sun for many, many years, and the Gemini Sun as well, it simply means that your power is going to increase slowly over many years if you choose the right partners, and if you are anticipating some legal steps that can help you not only now but throughout the rest of the time that you're working on something. Could be very beneficial for you down the road as your power increases. So you don't have to zoom forward right now, Libra, but you do have to make some sort of major redo in your life where you are reviewing circumstances and where you are deciding that there are some home problems that are not worth fighting anymore, just drop them. Or there are some career vexing situations that people are going through because they can't decide between home and career, or they can't decide between whether they want to keep working or whether they want to retire. Okay, if these people are undecided, drop them too. Because the Moon and Pluto in Capricorn are squaring your Sun, and Mars in Cancer is squaring your Sun. So you need to get out of some sticky situations right now, Libra. They're not going to, there's nothing in it for you. And drop partnerships. I think you've already done that, perhaps. Or at least mentally, you've just signed off on somebody that just isn't capable of going into the future with you. But there could be someone else that is. So keep thinking positively right now. And air signs are very creative, so I hope you're spending a little bit of time coming up with new ideas, Libra, and a new partner. Because that's the path to success in your future. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. This is a time, Scorpio, when you can certainly be very popular because you have Venus in your sign. You may want to look a lot better. Venus rules beauty, and it rules art, and it rules harmony and compromise and negotiation and the law and all legal contracts. And if you were involved in any kind of financial situation where you were realigning your financial resources and going through some sort of major redo, it would tend to benefit you, Scorpio. And there may be more money for that. For instance, you could think of selling something, or you could think of ways that you can make your dollar stretch a little bit more. Or it can simply be that you could be after financial resources from other people, because that's what your sign rules. You're a very good money manager, but your sign rules credit, debt, taxes, loans, insurance, inheritance, and grants. And so maybe you're going to be after some of those financial resources, or they can help you in some way right now, and you would be sort of blessed or very lucky in that, which is good, because Venus in your sign is trining Mars in Cancer. And so there is the possibility that you would have the money to make a move or to do some remodeling in a home that could update it to maybe a life that you're choosing now, and even a better partner that you're choosing, because the Sun and Mercury in Libra are right behind your Sun sign where the solar eclipse was. And in the background of your life, you could be simply able to make a dream come true, particularly if you went through some sort of major redo. And I will describe it as sort of getting the monkey off your back. In other words, if you have been enduring vexing relationships or partnerships that are no longer viable because the people aren't qualified, or they're not interested, or they're not doing their job, you can get rid of all that right now, Scorpio, in a rather nice way, because you have Venus in your sign. I mean, you could sort of get around some people that have been bothering you right now and go straight forward. And that would be good. And by straightforward, I mean you could go and make a dream come true that you've had in your heart for a very long time. And at the same time, there may be a move, and you might be saying to yourself, oh, that might be a hard move to make. It wouldn't be. Mars is trining your sun. And if you're wondering if you have the stamina for it, well, you do. Saturn is trining your sun. So go ahead and make a dream come true, because a Venus-Neptune trine means that you would be in the mood to achieve something that meets your very highest ideals. Venus is in your sign. It's trining Neptune in Pisces, and because that's so favorable to you, it means you would want to meet somebody or be with somebody that represented your highest ideals. That's the same thing as making a dream come true. And you can do it, Scorpio, and have the money to do it. Particularly if you've got some things that have just weighed you down for long enough. You need to say goodbye to those. And to any partnerships that represent a vexing situation. Those people are never going to change. And your ruler, Pluto, is about to go into Aquarius. Yes, it'll square your sun, but it's in the sign of the future. And that's where you're headed, because it's one of your rulers. So good luck, Scorpio. And if you go through a major redo right now, you'll love it. You'll just love it. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Sagittarius. Once again, there are no planets in the fire signs. But Sagittarius, everybody can go through some sort of major redo right now and realign their financial resources in order to cut costs. And it's necessary right now. Remember, there are 5 retrograde planets covering 1/2 of everybody's chart, including yours, Sagittarius. So all of us have to go back and say, oh, what am I doing here? Does this make any sense anymore? Well, when you realign your priorities and in a way that can perhaps cut your costs at the same time, you would be exactly on the right track for success, Sagittarius. It's just that the success may be a little bit down the road. And the reason why is because you got to get ready for it first. Success just doesn't fall out of the sky. It usually takes hard work and preparation and planning and even new partners. And you're well aspected for that, Sagittarius, because the Sun and Mercury are in Libra, sextiling your Sun. And that's where the solar eclipse was. It was sextiling your Sun. You are destined to have new partners come into your life. And there could be at least 2. And that is because Jupiter, your own ruler, while it is opposing your sun sign and now retrograde, is in Gemini, which rules 2 of everything. Gemini also rules the agent or the middleman, and rules buying and selling and promoting and advertising, sort of getting the word out. And Sagittarians have very fine minds. And so you should not be shy about letting people know what you think right now, or you should have the courage to go forward and try something that you really want to do. It comes from talking to people first, from finding the right partners to help you with that. And the Sun and Mercury in Libra are sextiling your Sun, and so was the solar eclipse, and that means you have to work a little bit more with others right now, Sagittarius, but that should work out real well for you because there aren't any planets in fire signs. You can't do it all by yourself, Sagittarius. Whatever you want in your future, you cannot accomplish all by yourself. You're going to need partners. And even if they're temporary or part-time, you're going to need them. So why not just go out and talk to people about your good ideas? There could be some people around that would really appreciate learning something like that from you. Maybe you're the one with the good ideas, and they would be the the person that could sort of help you get those good ideas out. So why not try it? All right, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, the moon today is in your sign right along with Pluto, and that Pluto is at the 29th degree of fate. It's about to change and go into Aquarius, where Jupiter will be trining it, which is until next summer. That's pretty great, because it could help you, Capricorn, increase your own power in the future. That's pretty much what having Pluto in the sign of the future right ahead of your sun sign means. So you are looking at the possibility, once you make some sort of a major redo in your life, you are looking at the possibility of more success in the future, Capricorn. But this is a time with these two planets, since the moon rules our feelings, and it rules our homes and our families, and it rules endings, it rules the last half of life. Then since your sign actually rules careers and retirement and pension plans, and these two planets are trining Uranus, which is also retrograde in Taurus, and it's a fixed financial sign, this is an excellent time for you to go over your financial resources again and again, Capricorn, which Capricorns like to do. They like to keep their eyes on their own money a lot, and just see how much things that you want to do in your future, see what costs you can anticipate right now. And if you're saying to yourself, well, I want to do this, but it's going to cost this much, my question is there a way that you can cut costs in another area so that they'll sort of equal out and not hurt your budget at all? There might be a way to do that, Capricorn. It would be changing some of the things that you do, or changing how much money you spend in one area because you want to have something to spend in another area in your future. You could realign your finances a little bit better. All of us have to go through a major redo. I think that you will probably be successful about realigning your financial resources in a way that can promote the kind of success that you want to have in your future. It doesn't have to be a career. It could even be a hobby. But it could be something that would allow you to expand, and something that you would very much, like a talent that you want to develop and go further on. Maybe you already know how to do something, but you want to develop or take it in a different direction, and if that's going to cost a little bit more money, all you have to do is sort of figure out where that money is going to be coming from. And I would say it could come from a major redo of some of your investments. And that is entirely possible. We all have to go through a major redo right now in order to cut costs. But there are trines. There's a grand trine in the water signs. There's another trine in the earth signs. There's a trine in the air signs. There are ways to think about how to get what you want right now, Capricorn. And your sign is noted for slow, steady progress and being goal-oriented. Capricorns don't give up until they reach the goal. So even if you've had a goal for a very long time and it hasn't exactly occurred yet, it could. All you have to do is realign your financial resources in some sort of major redo that allows you the resources to pay for what you want to do in your future. And I think you may already have the resources, but perhaps not sort of in the right place to continue on doing what you want to do. But you probably could do that. And it doesn't mean that you'd have to speed forward. You might want to just do something part-time, and that might be more affordable. But that's fine. You'd get there in the end anyway, Capricorn, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time, Aquarius, when I hope that you are really thinking of some sort of major redo. And the reason why is that a very powerful planet is about to enter your sign. It's going to re-enter your sign. It was there very briefly, and that's Pluto. And the whole world has never known what it means to have Pluto in Aquarius, because Pluto was only discovered in 1930. And it's such a slow mover that now it's finally over into Aquarius, but in our lifetime we haven't seen it there until now. But Pluto is a planet of power, and it is a planet of truth, and it's a planet of deep psychological transformation and change because it's the co-ruler of Scorpio. And Pluto is about to leave. It's at the 29th degree of fate now in Capricorn, and it's about to come into your sign. Excuse me. And when it does, you will be on some sort of path that will lead you to greater power and more success in your future, particularly in the next year. Because as soon as Pluto enters your sign, it's going to be trining Jupiter in Gemini, clear till next summer. And when it does that, it will also still be trining the sign of Libra, where we had the solar eclipse last week. And so I think that you do need to go through some sort of major redo, Aquarius. Yours is a fixed sign. Fixed signs, almost, Taurus is the one that really likes to do this. They like to stay in a rut, or they like to stay fixed in what they're doing or what they're thinking. Because that's the way they succeed. They just sort of stick at something. Well, your sign is the sign of the inventor, and it is the sign of the future. And your sign rules space, and it rules the whole telecommunications field, and it rules the internet. It rules the future. So your future is definitely calling you. It probably has already started to do that. And so what you need is you need to do some sort of major redo in your daily habits, in the way you live your life. Okay? There's only 24 hours in a day. None of us has any more time than that. We don't have a handle on time. And so you might not need to realign your financial resources, although I think that would be a good idea in order to cut losses or anticipated losses in the future. That's a good idea for everybody right now. But you may want to realign the way you spend your time and to make it more effective for your future plans. And so I think you're going to have to do that, Aquarius. You're going to have to say, well, I'm used to doing this on this day, and I'm used to doing this, and you're going to have to say, but in order to succeed with my future plans, how can I change these things? We have to review circumstances now. And you could just be looking at the circumstances of how you spend each day. And you're going to have to improve that in one way or another in order to follow through on your future plans, which can make you more powerful and more successful, particularly in the next year. And that would be starting right now. As soon as you decide, okay, I'll stop doing this, that's not doing anything for me, and I'll spend a little bit more time focusing on this over here, which is going to lead me to my future. All you have to do is decide to sort of shift a little bit in how you spend your time, and also who you spend it with. You're very well aspected to work in partnership successfully, particularly in the next year, while Jupiter is trining your sun. It might be just part-time, or it might be just on a short-term project, but you're aspected to succeed at it. So I would get ready to sort of change some daily habits, Aquarius, and decide, okay, you don't know where a future idea or a future project is going to go, but you have to have the time to get there. And that's how you're going to have to make some sort of major redo in the way you spend your time now in order to get into your future. And I think you are going to do that. So don't stay in a rut, is what I'm saying, Aquarius. If your life has been going along in a very comfortable rut, you're going to have to change that a little bit, or you'll be denying your future success. Don't do that, because it's going to be staring at you. You could have that for the next 20 years, but you will have to make some changes. So good luck. All right, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces. This is a time, Pisces, with a grand trine of 4 planets in the water signs, that you could effect some sort of major redo in your life. You might be able to do that sort of quietly behind the scenes, because Saturn and your own ruler, Neptune, are in your sign. They're both retrograde, though. And that simply means you're going to have to go back and say, okay, what am I doing here? Because maybe what you've been doing is not going to get you to where you want to go. And so you're going to have to try somehow, in probably a quiet way, to change your life, or your job, or your partnerships, or how you spend your money, in a way to sort of get you home to something that will make you comfortable and happy. All the water signs rule our emotions, and they rule healing. And if you're so busy doing some sort of job in order to save the world, who's healing you, Pisces? And all of us have inner doubts and fears. And Pisces rules the 12th house of limitations. So all of us are a little afraid that we don't want other people to know something that we think is wrong with us. Well, you know, that could be more fear than circumstance. That could be the doubts and fears and the insecurities that every human being has. But why let anything like that stop you? You know, people, and that would include you, Pisces, and me, and everybody. People look in the mirror and they think they see everything about themselves. They think they know themselves best. That isn't really true. There are things we hide from other people that we want to hide. But Pisces, have you ever thought of the fact that something that you think is a limitation and that you don't want to talk about might be something, it might be the reason that somebody loves you? You know, people love other things and other people for different reasons. Well, one of the good reasons is that love is sort of a mystery. It's something we have in our hearts. And it's such a mystery because we don't understand ourselves completely, so we don't understand the love that we have, but we know we've got it. And you could just have somebody in the background of your life that you've just even been dreaming about that could meet your highest ideals, and whatever you think you don't want them to know, for one thing, maybe they already know it, and it doesn't bother them, so why should it bother you? And maybe they love you for a whole lot of things that they see in you that you don't see in yourself. Have you ever thought about that, Pisces? It's true. You know, that's why we need each other, because we do see each other in different ways. But love is a mystery of its own, and we can't understand the whole mystery. But if you're afraid of your limitations being known to somebody that you really care about, well, first of all, maybe they already know those things, and it doesn't bother them. And on top of that, maybe they see so many things inside of you that are really good that you don't look at because you're so busy looking at what you think is wrong with you that you don't see all the good things that you have to offer others. But somebody else could see that. So if you're hiding behind your doubts and fears, Pisces, let them go. I'm sorry, but there's a whole lot of people that probably think the world of you for a lot of different reasons. And your doubts and fears, they keep you down. They hold you back. They deny the love you yearn for. And yet somebody else could see you and love you for those things that you think you need to hide, and you don't. When somebody is looking at a person or at a goal or a dream or an ideal or a big problem even, as long as they're looking with the eyes of love, it's going to work. Doesn't matter how long it takes, it'll work. Because love is the overriding force in the world. And nobody can live without it, Pisces. So don't make the mistake of denying yourself the happiness that someone else wants to share with you. Just make sure that you care about them first, because they care about you. And there's a difference between love and usury. Love is when you just want to make somebody happy because you love them. Usury is you want to make somebody happy in order to get something from them that you want. That's usury. That's a no-no. So if somebody is flattering you in order to get something that they want that will do them some good, pass those people by. do a major redo. Pisces, leave those people behind. Love is what makes the world go round. So I hope that you believe in it. Because you're worth it. So is everybody else. So go for it. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. I think I have those sun signs back on. Could keep my fingers crossed about that. And I really want to thank the new subscribers. And so I will see you right back here next week. Bye.